Our next guests are experts in family law. When someone needs their advice, it's usually a stressful time. It might be because of a divorce or issues with kids, such as child support, custody, or visitation. So today, helpful things to know. Tony Karls is the president of Sterling Law Offices, and Jeff Hughes is the CEO. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Molly.
Great to see both of you. Let's start, Jeff, with you and talk about the last time that you were on the Morning Blend. You said something interesting. You left us with this idea that in a perfect world, people wouldn't need a family law firm. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, Molly. So, when families have conflict and when they endure really hard times and they can stay intact and stay together, that just leads to stronger communities. But we all know that's not human nature. That's not reality or the world that we live in. And so we really try as a team to just obsessively focus on what clients want, what they need, how they want to be communicated with, loved on, and served legally when they're going through a crisis. And what we've discovered is that when we do that, when we authentically do that, that helps them move forward quicker and more healthy as themselves and for their families. And that's what leads to stronger communities.
I love that you said that, Jeff, because when you say something like that, it always makes me wonder if they teach that in law school, because my sense is that's more of a reflection of who you are and who your team is as a firm.
Right. Law schools are about legal analysis and thinking and how to analyze a case, not the soft skills for what really connects with the heart of clients.
And that's what I think sets you apart and is the difference. So I'm glad that you said that. I think that's a fascinating and very important point. So Tony, now let's move over to you. I want to know about being a client-centric firm. When you're client-focused, what does that mean? Because obviously Jeff was talking about caring about people and wanting to reduce conflict and for families to still have love and have that exist so that everybody can move on in life.
Yeah. So Molly, really, just to kind of tailor off of what Jeff was saying, it starts with the people. If you don't have a team that's really passionate about helping people through this really difficult transition, we're going to be able to provide good legal advice, but we're not going to be able to support them emotionally as they're going through this process, because it is a hard process when you're separating, typically a two-parent household with kids, and now it's going to be a one-parent household with kids kind of moving in between the two homes. Kind of having a team that's built around really being passionate about serving that family and that need is super important. So we really focus on that in the hiring process. Most attorneys can give you really good legal advice in terms of how to deal with a legal problem, but not all attorneys are equipped with the soft skills to really help that family or that individual deal with, what's really going on in their life, because it's more than just a legal process. It's an emotional process that's really hard to deal with.
And I appreciate that you both are acknowledging the stress as well as the emotional aspects of it, and not just the legal analysis. So Jeff, how do you practically change a firm's function by being focused on the client?
Yeah, it starts with one of the most glaring differences in how we go about serving our clients is how we build them. And so what we really are seeking to do, Molly, is to align up with the client and get on the same page and have the same goal with them. And I know that clients have a burning desire to have their case over with. And so what we want to do is have the same goal to help them do that. And you contrast that with how the hourly lawyers, so we bill with fixed fee, meaning by the case. And hourly lawyers really are selling time and they're selling hours, and their financial incentive is completely different from the client. They just are out to, a lot of times, and I'm not saying all of them, but they just want the time on the case, whereas the client, they want to be done. They want to move forward. So being really focused on what the client truly wants in their core being and aligning up with that yields much better results and benefits to the client over the long term. So that changes the whole dynamic of the firm all the way through.
I can't tell you how refreshing it is to hear you say that. I'm sure a lot of people are sitting at home thinking, oh my gosh, because every time my attorney reads an email it costs $250 or whatever. So I appreciate that both of you are acknowledging so many of the the important aspects of family law that have nothing to do with the kinds of things that you probably learn in law school. So Tony, let's talk about the fact that when someone sees a family law attorney, it's usually a stressful time in their life, as you said. What kind of training does your firm do to prepare your team to handle these cases?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, one of the things that we focus on, like we were talking about before, is really understanding how to properly communicate with somebody that's going through an emotional time. So one of those soft skills that we train on is validation, and really understanding, there's two ways to listen. One is listen to answer, and one is listen to understand. So we want to be really good at listening to understand what the client is actually saying, because when there's emotion involved, it's not always clear. There's not always clarity, and we want to make sure we really understand what's going on so we can properly serve them. In the medical community, there's something called bedside manner. In the legal world, there's not really a term for that, but we work on the soft skills related to what would equate to bedside manner in the medical practitioner. So how do we have the soft skills to appropriately help a client manage this difficult time so that they can not only be served from a legal capacity, but they're also supported emotionally through the process?
I love that. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning. I so appreciate it.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank you, Molly.
Absolutely. And as the Morning Blend at TMJ4, we appreciate the fact that Sterling Law Offices, they're a proud sponsor of TMJ4's ongoing campaign, We're Open. To learn more about Sterling, visit them online at sterlinglawyers.com. You can also follow them on Facebook with updated information as well as stories. But the fact that they're supporting local businesses is fantastic.